Sorry.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Chris has given me the lead on this one, so I get to say hi first.
Hey guys. Hey bro.
No, but so we've been talking, and our weeks are so busy that it's literally Sunday nights when we're like, hey, what's the topic? And that rhythm of being on that exact same page, it's weird how that is just like spread out now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I've been feeling the strongest about, and I know we did a previous podcast on it, and we did the communications, determining communications. And when we did that one, that kind of was something that we fell into like real fast. Like, I don't think that was our plan for that day. And then our last one we just did on what it looks like to not follow your path. So all that I've been getting is communication. And this is new for me. So like Chris can help me out or stop me or correct me because he's been in communications a lot longer than I have. I used to think, I mean, even as a year ago, I used to think that, when I would hear about like mediums or psychics or clairvoyance and I used to go, wow, that's cool that they were that special. You know what I mean? That's cool that they have that gift.
Yep.
And I just thought that was just something that was for certain people. And through other things I've looked at, like even when I started seeing energy, the one guy was like, everybody can do this. Like, this isn't, you don't have to be special, you don't have to do whatever. It's just where your focus is. It's something you've never thought to focus on before. This is made for everybody. When I started doing Reiki, it's like, you're not special. This isn't special. This is something that was made for everybody to do. Mm-hmm. We were made to heal ourselves and each other. So now we're talking about communications. And for a long time, I thought it was just something that for special people to do. And again, I'm finding out that we were created to communicate. And I feel like that's been something that there's been a block in people for a long time, but we're told we're never alone. And I think almost every belief system across the board confirms that we are not alone. Mm-hmm. And that we have beings here to help us. So why wouldn't we be made to have communication? So that's just really been what's resonating in me lately. So I finally started to pay attention. I just started to pay attention more. And you start to pay attention, and it starts with like the numbers. It starts with little cues from nature. It starts with something a stranger says to you at a store that says something. So I just really started paying attention. And the one we did on determining communications, we talked about how everybody gets information differently. So like how Chris gets information, like I hear him get information and I'm mind blown. And he hears how I get information and he's like, whoa, what? Yeah. And that's just him and I. Yeah. I can't imagine how every other person is getting communications. And I think the other thing that held me back for a long time was I thought that I was supposed to literally be seeing something. And if I wasn't seeing something in front of me, then I didn't have it. And then I come to find out like, oh no, it's in your mind's eye. It's kind of like when you think that you were doing something when you were like 8 years old and you get that little glimpse of like you on the boat, so I started realizing it's more of like a thought picture now. But am I right, Chris, to say that there are people that see actual things?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. And there are people that see actual pictures in their head. Yes. But just because that's not how it's working for you doesn't mean that when you're sitting there, you get that little glimpse of like whether it's a flashback or like an idea, that is your mind's eye vision still. Yep. Just because you're not actually seeing this actual picture.
Well, and that, yeah, I mean, a lot of people do have this like expectation, like, oh, this is the way it's supposed to work.
Yes.
But really, we have to let go of that. As a
yes.
matter of fact, I've ran into that a lot just this weekend channeling for people where they were saying, well, I don't see. So I'm just kind of like what you were saying. I don't see. Or
I
I
think that was my biggest holdback. I think that was the biggest thing holding me back is I assumed if I wasn't seeing something
Yep.
there that I wasn't doing it right. And I think that just held me back. But like I said, the reason I feel like this is so important now is I believe that we've always been communicated with, always, always, always. But I feel like this time that we're in right now, that it is meant to be. I have so many friends just with the dreams they're having, with little things that are going on. Like I am seeing communication really go up. And I just really feel it's important for all of us right now to be as open as possible for these communications. Because I think that they're just like our last one, we're talking about our path. I feel like right now we are in a time to where they are trying to get closer and really guide us into this time that we're going into. So I feel like it's any advice we can give. And Chris has a program. So if anybody's looking for extra help and extra, Chris has developed a program. And this is through him going through lots of different paid things.
Yeah.
And then, but him finding that like, well, I wish this group had told me this, you know, or I wish I'd learned this. So he was able to compile a program, you know, of those things that he felt like was missing from the programs he went to, you know, and he has a program. So if anybody wants further guidance or help, you know, reach out to Chris. So I was talking about seeing things. And then I thought the other thing that was holding me back when people were like, you know, I heard. So I was like, all right, I need to hear, you know, and I'm waiting to hear like an audible voice.
Yep.
And again, there are people who are clairaudience. There are people that actually do hear a voice audibly. So I thought that was something. I thought I was supposed to be seeing pictures and hearing voices. And then people would really think I was crazy. But it never happened. So, but this last year, I'm finding out for myself how it works. And with me being, clairsentient, where it's all about feelings, you know what I mean? Or it's more about feelings than it is about other clairs. But me being clairsentient, which is basically empathic, but just a little more feely, you know, I realized it works different for me. So the dreams have been awesome. So that was something I've had since I was younger. About 25 years ago, I started with those really bright, vivid dreams. And still to this day, only about 6 or 7 of them, but all of them I feel are still even leading up to like now. Even the ones 20 years ago, I feel like we're for what's coming up, you know? So I wanted to share how I got my last 2 bits of communication, because I feel like I've never heard anybody else say that this is how it's happened for them before. And I'm hoping that maybe something like this will click for you. So there's lots of rumors and brouhaha going around about like what's coming up for us in the next, you know, couple months into the next year or so. There's all kinds of stuff going around in the times that we're in. And so one night before I was going to bed, I just asked. I was like, okay. And so there's clue 1. Just ask before you go to bed. Ask for something, anything, you know, just ask for something. It doesn't help. I always say, let me remember, you know. And there's times that I sleep right through it, or there's times that I don't, but there are times that I do. And this was one night that I said, show me September, let me remember. And in the middle of the night, I got the word Vega. And I wake up and I'm like, Vega. I'm like, well, could you be any more Vega? Like, really? Like, how cryptic does this have to be? Vega. Okay, Vega. Well, so the reason...
Oh, man, you crack me up.
So the reason I'm sharing this is because I feel like a lot of us would have just given up. Maybe we'll Google it, you know, maybe we'll wake up and Google the word, right? So that's what I always do. I always start with that. I start with Googling it. And of course, right away, I see it's a star system. So I'm like, well, that's cool, you know? And I get Google's answer for what Vega is. So I'm like, well, at least I know now what it is. Well, I've learned I have to dig farther. And like I said, we need to start opening up about this more. We need to open up about communications. So I'm at the point now to where I know I have to kind of talk to people and find out like about things. So with Vega, I put out on one of the sites I'm on, and I was like, hey, everybody want to play a fun game with me today? You know, this is the word I got, and this is all I got. And just want to see what everybody had to say about it. Well, half of them gave me Google's answer. And I'm like, okay, very nice. I have Google also. I mean, not to sound like a jerk, but I'm like, I have Google too. You know what I mean? Like, that's where you got your answer. I already saw this answer. Well, and I kind of gave up on that thread because I'm like looking, I'm like, they're all just telling me just what it is. You know, it's not what I'm looking for. Like, something in me was saying like, that's not your answer. That's not your answer. So a couple of days later, I see that somebody had posted on there. So I go on, and it's this girl, and she's like, wow, I really think I found the right site, you know, and she's like, she mentioned, had I looked up anything on the Hopi Blue Star prophecies? Now, nothing I looked up in the Vega Star system brought me to that, but her post resonated with me, like we were talking about the last podcast about following your energy. So my energy felt what she said right away about the Hopi Blue Star prophecy, because it's been said that I somehow have a connection to the Hopi. So I'm like, okay, well, this is ringing a bell. And she's like, yeah, this is so weird. She's like, all I keep getting is blue star, blue star. And so she said, like, you know, she keeps seeing the blue star buses. Her kid actually picked up a paper blue star from the ground. And I was like, all right, you ready for things to get real weird? I sent her a picture of my blue star tattoo. So through that, so I was like, this is my answer. Like, I'm on the right path now. I know that I had to put all this out there to have this connection with this chick, you know, because there was too much going on. I mean, come on, I have a blue star tattoo. Like, come on, like, what are the odds of this? Because when it comes to communications, there are no coincidences. When it comes to life, there are no coincidences.
So true.
So you follow when you get these little weird things. So I'm like, let me get this book. Get the book. I don't even read. I've only read one book in my life. I'll look at an article. I've read one book in my life. Now I've read two, because I just read this book in one night. And basically every religion has their version of like, you know, everybody knows the book of Revelation, but every religion and belief system has their version of this story, you know? And so the Hopi Blue Star prophecy, which resonated more with me, that is the Hopi's story of what seems to be going on right now. So I thought that was cool that it led me to that.
Yep.
So that's why I say, so, you know, communications, we like to think that we want to answer and we're going to have a dream that tells us everything. And we're going to know right then. Sometimes there's a path to it, you know, and you end up learning while you're on that path. So I feel like there was something I wanted to say in between before I went on to my next thing. Any questions or comments, Chris?
Yeah. So, well, you're absolutely right on sometimes there is a vagueness to what the heck is coming up. And I think I've told this story before about Enoch, how he first came to me. I saw an image, didn't know what it was, and then I heard Enoch, 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 and I'm like, what? No, I'm sorry. I heard Arcturian Light Council here, and I thought it was the Arcturians that I saw, and it wasn't. I woke up and they said no. I said, is this the Arcturians I'm seeing? They said no. I went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and I was doing a meditation asking specifically, okay, what did I see last night? It wasn't Arcturians. What was that? And then all I heard was Enoch, Enoch, Enoch. That's it. That's all they told me. They didn't channel any more information to me. And that's telling when you guys are not getting more to something. What it is basically a seed. They're planting a seed for you to begin to water and to grow, because from that seed, you're going to get so much more. And as we know now, Enoch is the primary figure who inspired this podcast between Brooke and I.
Yes. And, you know, so the communication that I got through all that thing, just starting with I forgot the big thing. I got a star app on my phone because I was like, you know what? Let me get let me get real with this thing, right? So, because there was this one triangle that I keep looking at, I wanted to know what it was. So I was like, let me download the star app, and that's the reason I downloaded it. And this was during this time. It's before I got to the chick about the blue star. So I'm walking in the neighborhood. Out of all the stars in the sky, I look up and I go, now granted it's bright, so of course it stood out. I look up, I go, I wonder what that is. I get out my app, about pooped my pants when it said Vega. So more confirmation I was on the right path.
That is amazing.
And then I was like, well, what's this star? It's always blinking over here. Like, I've looked at the star for like 5 years. What is the star? So the first star I find out of all the stars in the sky is Vega. The second star I find in the sky is Arcturus.
Mm.
So I'm like,
an Arcturian starseed.
yeah.
Right?
So,
yes.
I mean, I keep saying supposedly, but I feel like it's been validated enough that, and they keep telling me to trust, that I guess I should just fess up and go, yes, I'm an Arcturian starseed. But like, I'm just not there yet. I'm just like, okay, supposedly that's what, supposedly. But yeah, so that was pretty confirming right there. So I feel like I passed their test with that communication, because I think they're probably always trying to communicate with us because they want to help us, they want to guide us. And I think they're always trying, but maybe if, like, say we tried one way and it didn't work, they're like, all right, well, what's going to get her attention? So it seems like I did a good job coming full circle on just getting that one word. Yeah. So a couple of days later, it was the same thing, one word. Actually, it wasn't the exact same thing, because Vega I woke up saying in the middle of the night. I found out a couple months ago that I kind of get, like, I guess some people call it like a restless leg syndrome. And I'm not ever somebody who writes. Well, I was feeling led to write this one night, and it actually got me out of bed. And when I wrote and I went back to bed, I was able to sleep and the leg cramps were gone. And I don't mean cramps like they hurt. It was just this weird, like, they feel like they have to stretch just enough to keep you awake, just enough to be kind of a little annoying. So the other night, and now I know that. So that's why I say, like, once they get your attention some way, they'll keep using that. If it worked, they'll keep using the same thing. So now I know if my legs are doing that, it's like, okay, now I get it right so that I can go back to bed and my legs will stop. So the other night, my legs started, and I was like, all right, I'm going. Let me go get the notebook, and it wasn't like any of my other writings, and it really wasn't that much. And I just quieted my mind, and I get Nebuchadnezzar. And I'm like, well, that clearly wasn't me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't just pull Nebuchadnezzar out of my butt. So I knew that had to be from somebody else. So I'm like, well, here we go on the journey to find out what Nebuchadnezzar could possibly mean. So first person I hit up at work was a pastor's wife, because I know that there's a Nebuchadnezzar from the Bible. So the first person I hit up was the pastor's wife. And now, of course, first thing I did was Google to get an idea. And I had a few ideas just from Googling it, what it could possibly mean, but nothing in my heart or energy was like excited about it. Mm-hmm. So I followed my energy and felt like, okay, like, that's not what I'm looking for. So I go to this pastor's wife thinking she'll surely have something just to spit out about it. Well, she didn't. She did say, ooh, Nebuchadnezzar, and she went to get her phone out. I was like, no, don't Google it. I was like, I've already Googled it. I thought, so I knew that wasn't my answer. I knew that wasn't my answer. I didn't get a feeling I didn't get. So later on, I go to my other friend's house, and I'm like, Nebuchadnezzar. So that's why I say, like, you have to be brave. Like, to find your answers, you have to be willing to communicate with other people, and you have to, it's like, like, I had a friend the other day feel like she had communication. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say also, in addition to, putting yourself out there and asking questions and researching, yes, awesome, definitely do it. But in addition to, sometimes we're not meant to know the answer right away. So be patient. Right. Be very patient with yourself.
Right.
Don't think that just because you get it one day, tomorrow you're going to know the answer. It doesn't always work like that either.
No, I've gotten things and it's been like 2-3 weeks later, even more, that it brings me back to that moment. And then there's been a whole story from that night leading up to there, that all the puzzle pieces all of a sudden slam together.
The light
You
bulb
know,
took,
that's
took
that's
like
why.
2 years to figure out, if not more.
Yeah. So that's why I say, you just have to be open and paying attention.
Mhm.
You know, but it's like I found myself getting, and try to just relax about it. Just relax. Like I would get too hype on getting an answer, or too hype on, but I've learned the more I relax and the more I don't focus on trying to do it, the way more it happens.
Totally.
So that's our other advice, is just relax about it, and just let it play out. So the Nebuchadnezzar.
Trust yourself.
Yes, and that's
Feeling.
and that's what I keep. That's from the first time I went to see Chris. That's the first thing he said, that my guides were saying, is just trust, because I'm always like, are you sure? Do you think that's what they meant? And in everything I've written, it is saying just trust. So I'm trying to just let go and just trust. So there is something a little different about this Nebuchadnezzar experience that I really want to share, because sometimes it's not what we think it is. So with the Nebuchadnezzar, so I get my one friend, and she actually had a really kind of, I feel like, a good idea on what it could be also. But it's still, as good as her answer sounded, nothing got too excited in me. My energy didn't really move. A few minutes later, I get to my friend Dave's house. And we're big. Well, he got me turned on to sci-fi. And as far as I'm concerned, sci-fi is real life. This isn't, okay? Don't try to convince me otherwise. So I go to Dave's house and I look at him and I go, Nebuchadnezzar. And he goes, oh, that's the ship in the Matrix. And I'm like, what? And I knew that was my answer, because
a very spiritual movie.
It really is. Very moving also. I have to watch. I haven't seen 2 and 3 yet. So I think I'm going to be like, psh. So, I mean, my heart went all aflutter. So that's how I knew that I was on the path, so, and I thought it ended there. Like, I thought it ended there. And so, so I was like, okay, but what did the ship's name, like, why was it named that? Like, what was the representation of that in the movie? So I Googled it and it made sense. It was talking about like the kings that wanted to rule everything. And then it talked about the rebel forces that just wanted freedom, freedom for the people that were going to fight, that were fighting against that. Sounds like, well, that makes complete sense. You know what I mean? There's a lot of us fighting for freedoms right now, and that's what we're trying to break free. So that made sense. So I kind of thought that was my answer. I really thought that was like my answer, just kind of confirming things I already think. So of course Dave's like, well, now we have to watch it. So we watched it. And I will say, I've been having lots of stuff come into my head that I'm questioning a lot lately, because it's big stuff, it's big stuff. It's cool stuff. It's kind of, some of it's too good to be true stuff, from what I feel like. I'm just, so the one line in this movie, because Neo goes to the Oracle and she tells him he's not the one, and so he's going this whole thing like he knows he's not the one, but he's still doing everything that, he's on his path. He's still doing all this stuff. And at the end, the one chick said to him, sometimes the Oracle just tells you what you need to hear. So I felt like just hearing that word Nebuchadnezzar and then going through all of what I went through to come back to this, I felt like that was the most important. I feel like that was the message. I feel like it doesn't mean everything I'm thinking is not real, but it does mean that maybe it's just the mindset they need me to be in to serve a certain purpose, but yeah, I really wanted to do some communications, because I had I saw a friend this week post about her dad. It's one of my younger friends, one of my son's friends actually. And she was talking about having a dream about her dad, and he was a pilot, and then thinking about him and then these planes flying over. And she was just like, I know it sounds silly, but like, I really think it's him. And I just want to say to people, it's not silly. If you think it's something, it is something. Like, I don't want people to think this is like silly or feel stupid for saying that they think they got like a message from a loved one or a message from above. You all are. We were made to have this help. We were made to be guided. And especially the times we're in, they are trying to help us for what we're going through now and what's coming. And they're trying to establish communications with us to help guide us. So just, be open. And I hope that between this one and the other one we did on determining communications will maybe help some people understand how you guys may be getting your communications.
Yep. Yeah, there are so many people that come and talk to us about communication, and you are getting it, like Brooke said on that last story. Own that. There's
Yeah.
no need to doubt it. Just own that stuff.
Whether it's a butterfly, yeah. I mean, if it's a ladybug that landed on you, if it's you see a bird doing something out of character and what you see that bird doing in your yard, if a butterfly lands on you, or it's just swirling around you, yes, this is all communication, just them letting you know that you are not alone. Like, no matter what is coming up, we are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And they want us to know that.
And you guys know that. We're not alone. And there are some people that that are even open and still even question a lot, and that just takes you out of alignment. You want to be in alignment, and the best way to be in alignment is to believe, one, that you are getting communication, two, to believe when you do get it, to believe that it was communication. Like, even if it's perceived to be like inaccurate, which, hey, there have been sessions that have been had where every medium I've been to, I think only two of them have actually given me like good readings to where I actually got something from. But that doesn't make them not good mediums. It just
Right.
that was something was off there, something it was not meant to be for that day for me. It was kind of like the Brooks story with the Oracle, where they told me what I needed to hear that day, in the sense that, hey, if it didn't resonate with me, that just made me work harder to grow my own strength, to grow my own receptors, to open them up even more so that I get that communication for people.
Yeah.
But everybody's we absolutely are getting communication in so many different ways. And the mind always tries to take you away from the communication and make you doubt it, or make you think that you have to fear it or something like that, some kind of low vibrational thought towards it, like, oh my God, I can't talk to people about it because they might judge me, or they might think that I'm crazy or something like that.
Yeah.
But
And it's true that your communication could just be your own truth.
yeah.
So what I was saying about like with the Hopi Blue Star Prophecy, or with this or with that has become my personal truth. It doesn't mean that it has to be, oh, this chick on this podcast said that this is, no. That was a truth for me. You may have a different truth when it comes to, different things, and, but it's like, could I share that message with people? Yes, but it may have also just been a truth for me to hear, Same with like the whole Nebuchadnezzar thing. Could there be something bigger behind that, about, Babylon? Maybe there is, but I feel like it all led me just to hear that one thing of, but I feel like it was for me, for my truth,
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree with that, but your truth, I think, definitely is, or I believe that it does resonate with somebody else out there.
Yeah. And I'm actually working on now, trying to get a clear answer on whether this is information for me to have for me, or if I am actually supposed to be more public with what I'm getting. And I don't yet feel like I have a clear I don't think I've gotten a clear answer on like, yes, you should be shouting this from the rooftops yet. Like I don't feel that yet. You know, that's why I don't say too much, you know, but it's like, because I don't know if this is just for me to know right now to guide me into something, but like nothing so far has said to me like you should be shouting this from the rooftops and telling everybody these things. And if I get there, I will, you know, but it's like I wanted to be sure about that.
Well, the fact that you said that you don't feel it yet, I feel like is such a crucial point or aspect of all communication, because if it's not something that you feel, not think,
Yeah.
put the mind out. If it's not something that you feel, then you know.
Yeah, it's something I run by my very like trusted friends who pretty much anything I say, they just know I'm crazy anyway, so they don't bat an eye at it. So it's things I run by
Aren't you telling
them.
people not to say crazy?
I know. So I run it by them, and that really helps because it like I'll get real excited when I first get ideas. I get real excited. I'm like, this is gonna happen. That's gonna happen. That's gonna. And then like once I get that out, then I start winding down a little bit.
Yep.
And then I start, you know, then things start to make sense, and then things start to slow down, and I feel like it. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now, but I feel like it gets better after that. Like it calms down, and I'm able to make more sense of it than when I'm really excited about this like information and going with it, you know.
Yep.
But yeah. So I'm on that calm down and just kind of just sitting with it, and just kind of reflecting on it and seeing where it goes. But yeah, people close to me know what I'm, you know, my thoughts are.
Nice.
But again, with the animals and the birds and the butterflies, it's I was outside again reading. I was reading just the different all the different religions with that same story, but it was saying like, you know, Revelation says this, and the Hopi Blue Star Prophecy says this, and there was one that I believe was of Asian descent says this. And as I'm reading it, a butterfly is chilling on my leg, you know, so things are confirming.
Oh my, yes. Let me share a story with you. Actually, I got two, if that's okay.
Super.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about the butterfly and guys, how things are not coincidental. Friday night, my son had a football game. I was getting ready to go to it, but I was tired, so I went up, did a meditation, and actually channeled quick. Well, they gave me a message, which was really cool, and went to the football game. And no kidding, this weird looking bug, it looked like a legit leaf. It looked like a leaf. I have a picture of it as well. See if I can pull it up here.
Was it a leaf bug?
It's actually called a katydid.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's in the cricket family. Well, so this katydid, which I had no idea what it was as it was flying around the field, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, landed on me. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy because all these people are around, but it landed on me. Not only did it land on me, it walked off my foot and then walked back up onto my foot and then literally walked up my entire body to my neck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I have a picture of it on my thigh. But the point is, this is how not crazy and this communication is. I'll see if I can throw it up here real quick. Can you see? Nah, you can't. Oh,
yes. Yep, I can see it.
yeah. So that was the katydid. Anyway, it crawled all the way up into my neck. When I went home, I looked it up because I knew immediately. I'm like, there's a meaning here. No kidding. The meaning of the katydid is the exact same message that I got prior to the game that I channeled. Same thing, because they were talking about my energy and they said, okay, what we're doing right now is actually attuning your energy to a different vibration, to a higher vibration. There are going to be a few changes that are taking place in your life, and we need to work specifically with your energy. And no shiznit, the katydid's message is all about the attunement of energy and how it's changing.
Oh, wow.
Blew my freaking
that's
mind.
what I was going to say, like insects, animals, it's like Google does. I mean, there's a lot of information. Like Google is good. as your first resource.
Mhm.
Because like, you know, and that's why I say like, you know, just because you see a rabbit sitting in your front yard, you'd be like, oh, let me Google what it means to have a rabbit cross my path. No, but like if, you know, you're driving down the road and there's this rabbit like dead center in the middle of the road and it's just standing up and it's just like something just a little out of place from how you would usually see them. That I believe is when they're crossing your path. Like you,
And
they
if
make,
you feel it.
and if you feel it. And but yes, Google is great. There are actually, or you know, just I keep saying Google, but just you know, researching it. There's a lot of information on the internet that does have the meanings behind these animals, whether you know, whether it's a Luna moth or a katydid or you know, a fox or you know, and it is cool because they're usually very confirming to what you're going through in life, and you see this, and some of them have multiple answers. And again, like we talked about in the last podcast, I look until I feel something, you know, until I feel that flutter or until I feel that energy, and then I know it's guiding me towards like the answer that I'm looking for.
Yep.
You know.
The feeling and the trust in that feeling are such crucial aspects of all of this, and really cannot be overlooked, guys, ladies and gentlemen. When you feel it, don't let somebody else talk you out of it.
Yeah.
Trust your own intuition, because that is literally the first receptor that's open.
Yeah.
Intuition is your first receptor, and that intuition is what you feel. That is your guidance system.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so definitely. I'll tell you another one real
I
quick.
was gonna say you said you had two.
Yeah. So the other one was, I've only seen 3 now, I think. 3 or 4 bald eagles in the wild without actually going out looking for them. I
Right.
have done that once and have seen a ton. But there's only there that I've seen, 3 or 4. I think it's actually 3 that I've seen in the wild without actually going to look for them. And 2 of them I saw with the same person,
Uh-huh.
which is very, very interesting. And I
Yeah.
know there is a message there for this guy. It's my brother-in-law, actually.
Yeah.
And every time I see it, I get so excited because I'm like, dude, they're talking to you too, you know. But he's kind of not like there yet with belief
Yeah.
in all of this. But I'm like, brother, they are talking to you. There is a message here for you, because it's not accidental that you and I have seen this together 2 different times. Actually, it was 4. I'm sorry, it was 4. 2 on the same day, and that last time that we saw it, he was actually there with me the 4th time I saw it. So he would have been there 3 times. He was just not literally next to me. The other 2
Yeah.
times we were actually talking. That last time he was probably about 50 yards away or so, but
Yeah.
together in the same area.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean that's what I said. There are no coincidences.
Yep.
That's why I say, like, I know that a lot of people that watch our podcast, some of the stuff they're like, well, of course we want to communicate, of course but I just feel like right now is more important than ever, and I really feel like communications they're trying to communicate with a lot of us right now, all of us.
Yep.
You know, it's just we have to be open to it. You know, and I guess that's really all I was wanting to say was those 2 little stories, and hopefully that would sit with somebody, or hopefully they might, you know, find a new trick that they didn't realize that they were getting something. And, you know, because I think we all get it differently,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this one here. Oh my gosh, this guy had.
Well, all right then. If you don't have anything else, do you mind if I just channel and
I would love it.
all right, awesome. I'm curious to see where this goes, because honestly, this entire since Friday has been off the charts awesome with information coming through. And so, I mean, it's always awesome, obviously.
I know. I always get excited.
It's been really interesting weekend for sure. A lot of crazy things happening. But we'll take a second here. Beautiful opportunities are being present it to us all, my children. Enoch speaking. Beautiful it is to have such representations of beauty, light, love presented to all of you here in this realm. For the purpose of all humanity is to be of the light and to allow for more light to enter their physical bodies as the soul grows in length. My children, the love that you are capable of receiving, and by love in which we mean, communication, are aspects of truth and of the light. There is no purpose or reason for which one should doubt the interpretations of the senses, feelings that they are presented with at different moments in time that are representative of the communication they are receiving. These senses, feelings, aspects of the heavenly support team that communicates with all of humanity individually and as a collective. But it is important, yes, as you all are very well aware of, to incorporate more of the light energy representatives of archangels and ascendant masters into your own communicational support team. These aspects are very important in allowing more light and love to be shined through you. There was and has been communication presented to many in the essence of clearing the ego mind completely to allow for spiritual communication to be the primary way of the mind. This is important because there are many that fear this aspect, for they are of the belief system that this is not of the light, when in reality it is all and everything but. I think he's saying everything is, it is all the light. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it came out that way, I don't know. But my children, it is aspects of truth that we speak of at this moment. For the more light and love communication that is allowed to flow through the human body, human soul, there is so much more work and light that can be brought forward to this realm. And this is the important aspect. For you all are part of the ascension process, whether it is observed, agreed upon at this very moment in time or not. It is a matter of actuality, fact. It is not something to be denied by the soul. Although all souls are attempting to ascend, there are ones that are continuously having setbacks. These beings are in need, support of individuals like yourselves who are ascending, for you allow for more light and love to be shined through you. Thus, these souls incorporate that light and love into their own aspects to help with the physical body to grow. This is an important understanding to know, for when you begin to truly align with your purpose and understanding, you will begin to allow for these individuals' souls to understand greatly more on how to develop while in the physical realm. It is not an easy aspect for the soul to learn so many lessons and to ascend as it should when it is continuously having setbacks. These setbacks are helped through your own healing methods and acknowledgement of the soul and the ascension process, awakening, if you will, that is currently proceeding through your own energetic field. It is then leveraged by another soul to assist in its own growth. Please do not misunderstand what we are saying here. Your healing, as we have said many times, is affecting the globe, the world, all of which humanity resides in its own ascension process. And individual humans and their souls are leveraging your light and love as you proceed through the density to illuminate so many more. It is helpful. It is imperative. And we call upon you all now to begin to align more with your purpose, with this communication as you proceed, to allow for so much more light, love, and light beings, which is an important aspect here to understand, to step forward into this realm and work through you and your energetic field that can be brought, yes, around the world. Your energy can be manipulated, if you will, to travel, not just in your current location, physical aspect we refer to, can be leveraged around the world. Even though you physically are in this current location, your energy can be maneuvered throughout the realm to assist with another soul in its rising. Make no mistake about this, individuals, as you proceed, you are an important aspect of this light and ascension process. Archangel Metatron has done great work in this realm to accumulate so much light and incorporate more light into the realm. But there is more, much more that is needed at this time, especially now during these moments in time when there is a focus that is steadfast on the negative, on the low vibrational. This is not helpful, but is part of the plan. And as you begin to shed your own layers and heal, you will also help those around you that are in a much deeper, dire state of need of healing as well. And this is so important and helpful. And for this, we greatly thank you all. Go in peace and enjoy your day. Enoch speaking to you always. Thank you, my children. Call upon us as you wish. We encourage it. We ask of this, please. With great amounts of love, we are here for you. We respect you all. Obviously, we work our diligence for you always. We are light beings, and our purpose is to serve humanity and the souls that work in this realm, for we understand its complexity and the importance at which it is for all souls to grow in spite of the density. And for this, we thank you again. Enoch speaking. Thank you, Enoch, very much.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So again, brings us all back to heal yourself, heal the world. You know, any light that you are bringing for yourself, you are sharing that light for those that cannot find their light right now. You know, so some of us that are able to shine in some of these hard times, you know, when you see another person that doesn't look like they're shining, instead of going, oh, gosh, look at them miserable. No, send them love. Send them some of your light. And I like what he was saying about when our, you know, that our energy can be even used somewhere else around the world. And I've always, that was something that I was getting communications on that. And it made me feel better about the days that I'm like kind of tired and grumpy, because now I have my excuses like, oh, they were just borrowing my light to shine on somebody else today. So now I just have to just be and anchor the light and wait for my light to come back. But right now it's being shared with people that really need it. And even though I need it, it'll be back for me.
Totally.
You know, so again, these times, like I said last time, just be kind and be patient with yourself and be patient with others. Some people are having a really hard time right now.
Totally. Beautiful.
And hard times make people act a little not nice sometimes, you know, but we still have to send them love.
Very well put.
We gotta get through this together.
Totally. And if Brooke, if you don't mind me saying, I have nothing else. Are you done? Were you done?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. I forget if we said in the beginning, we are going to go to a bi-weekly podcast now rather than.
That's what I meant to say. Yes, bi-weekly.
Yep. So we'll do it twice a month, every other week, and yeah, just because of all the time we're getting so busy now. So but anyway, thank you guys all so much. Thank you, Brooke. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
See ya. Enjoy your day, weekend. Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah. All right. Take care.